All right. And hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? Hey, I'm on Instagram Live as well right now, as well as in this Facebook group here that you're watching. Hey, what's up, Instagram? Glad you're here. What's up, Facebook? Glad you're here too. Joseph T 2002 has joined. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome to the chat. So today we're going to be talking about Instagram. Of course, Instagram is always a big part of our social media strategies for churches, and we've got the Insta Summit coming up. That is huge. If you can't see that, on Instagram, make sure you go to theinstasummit.com and get a ticket to the free Instagram Summit online that we're doing it's on May 19th. So it's in 2 weeks, 2 weeks from today. Well, it'll be over by 2 weeks from today, but it is in a few weeks. So go to theinstasummit.com and get a free ticket. And also I want to say that you can get the later pass, which is on-demand access. I know that we're all like really strapped right now and doing there's a lot of conferences and summits coming up. It's been a really cool movement for everybody in the church space to go, let's try to get information out to help people out. And let's do these different, there's a church online summit coming up. There was a church comm summit that I think just ended, that Justin Dean was doing. I mean, there's a ton of things happening right now that are coming up, especially in May, that are going to be really, really great for church communicators. So I would love for you guys to join us at the Insta Summit. It is going to be, I'm telling you, I'm looking through all this content and just going, man, this is so good. This is so good. I cannot wait. Dale Best is on the chat in Facebook. What's up, Dale? Glad you're here, man. Dale used to work nearby. We had lunch once and he was like, hey, it's really good to meet you. I'm leaving. I'm moving across the flipping country. I was like, well, man, dude. So I hope things are going well for you. I think it was Indiana. I want to say Indiana or Illinois up north. I'm probably misremembering that, but hope things are going well for you, Dale. We got some people joining on Instagram too. Hello, what's up? I love that we're able to go live in two places, especially for a show that's about Instagram for the church, that we can actually go live on Instagram to talk about Instagram for the church. I mean, minds are blown everywhere. So, okay, well, let's get into this today. We've got a couple of things I want to cover. Really excited about the Insta Summit. Go sign up for that, theinstasummit.com. But let's get to today's stuff. Today, I wanted to talk about branding. We always struggle with branding, and I know that if you've watched me, listened to me a little bit, you may have this impression that I'm very anti-branding. Very much not. Very much not. I just have a much wider appreciation, I think, for what branding actually is. And on our spotlight today, I want to show you an Instagram post that's about branding from a guy who totally gets branding. Okay. I'm really excited about that. And we'll get to that in a minute. But first, in our FAQs, the question is, how can we develop a cohesive brand on Instagram? You do want to keep in training in line with your church's branding, of course, but Instagram allows you to take things in a direction that maybe Facebook doesn't. Facebook doesn't really have an aesthetic. Facebook doesn't really have some of these kind of branding tools that Instagram really does. Facebook is very different in that way. You can have branding on Facebook for sure, especially your business pages and stuff, but in groups, it's kind of a free-for-all. You got a header and a logo, and that's really about it. And so what else is there? And I think we always get stuck on the branding question, and I want to answer some of that. So first, what goes into a brand besides a color palette, fonts, and a logo? Because we all know that's part of branding, right? We get that part. We spend hours talking about that and nailing that down for our church. But what else goes into a brand? Well, I want to go through 4 things I think really help establish a strong Instagram brand as we go through these and talk about some of the examples of what that might be. So first, I think the type of content that you put out, the type of content that you will do, and this is the simple question: what type of content? What do I mean? I mean, are you really going to be about photos? Are you really going to be about graphics? Are you going to be about video? Are you going to be more stories versus more feed? Are you going to use IGTV? It's like, what type of content? Is it long? Is it widescreen? What are you going to do for your main thing? Like, what are you going to be about? And that really goes into like what your staff is like, what your structure is like, what you can do, as far as talent goes. You might be a one-man show at a church that doesn't even pay you. And for you, making a simple graphic every day is about what you can do because you're not a photographer. I'm really not a photographer. That's where I lean more, is towards the graphic. But I realize that might actually be, it still performs well depending on how you do it, if you're good at it. But it seems to perform not as good as photos and video might naturally. And I would say probably, if I'm thinking about what performs best on Instagram, probably photos. But what you need to think about is what performs best for you in the context that you're in. Yes, photos might perform best, but you might only be able to do graphics realistically on a semi-annual scheduled basis. So you have to work with what you've got. And so I think that defines some of your brand on Instagram is stuff that's not even up front. It's behind the scenes. So the type of content really will define your brand. I know that recently on my Instagram account, I have done almost complete user-generated content. That's the type of content. I have found other people's stuff and shared it. That has been it. I haven't made very much. And I'm telling you, it's been fun because when I find things that I want to share, they tend to be more of the silly nature. And so I'm having a lot more fun with it, but I don't know that I'm providing a ton of value for communicators on Instagram right now, but it is a more fun place to be. Today's post about artisan toilet paper in a time of need is pretty good, I think. But anyway, go check that out at Seth Muse if you want to check it out. So I think the type of content, is it photos, graphics? Is it video? What are you going to do? That's just basically the form. So the next part of branding I think that we can think of is what categories of content are you going to create? And this is a little different. We talked about, is it type of content, is photos, graphics, whatever, but what categories of content? Are you going to create teaching content? Are you going to create inspirational content, funny content, announcement content? What is your message going to be? I think this really needs to go around your values. You really need to define, go back and watch a couple of shows before where we talked about, just search the hashtag Instagood in the Facebook group. You can find it pretty easily. Go find where we talked about KPIs and goal setting. When you really think about what you want to do with your Instagram account, it helps define what categories of content. Jasmine Starr has a really great webinar that's free right now if you want to go check it out on her website. She's a great Instagram source of for ideas and how it works. Tried to get her to speak at the Insta Summit, and she almost did it, but she was adopting a baby at the time and was like, we're putting everything on hold, can't do it. So I was like, oh, so close, next time. But anyway, she has this whole thing where she talks about your categories of what you're going to post. So here's what I mean. The teaching, inspiration, funny stuff. For her, it's like photography, mom life. What are the categories that are important to both her and really important to her audience and that she wants to be known for? And I think as a church, we often have no idea. We have no idea what kind of categories we really want to post about. As a church, you might want to have a category set up for city life, which is basically, let's focus on our community, or let's focus on our people. A people post for a volunteer category might be a good one. Some of those are really you can really come up with some really interesting categories that are unique to you. And this is what will make your content, your brand, feel unique, is that you have your own categories. Hey, what's up, Carl Barnhill? I'm your hero. Oh, you have low standards. But I'm happy to fill the role until you find somebody better. Oh man, you're awesome. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Hey, Cynthia, how's it going? I know I just break in. I'm sorry. I break my thoughts. This is how my brain works. So be glad you're not in here. It's a swimming vortex of ridiculousness. Anyway, so the categories of content are important. So spend some time, sit down and think, like, what categories could we post about, whether, because we know we're going to make graphics. So quotes might be a category, inspirational quotes. Maybe if you're a great photography team, you have photographers in your church that are working, you got a system really well, then people photos, people might be a good category for you that you can really do that well. So you've got to think in this order, really, how things are going to go for you when it comes to content, type of content, then the category of content. And then next, I would say we get to style. This is the hardest one to teach because this seems to be kind of an X factor, unteachable. Well, not unteachable, but it's what's the word I'm looking for? I almost said unmentionable. It's not unmentionable because I am henceforth mentioning it, but it's an intangible. That's what I'm going for. It's an intangible factor, right? That it's a style. And this has to do with your aesthetic, the way you edit photos, the way you design. So some of that is like, you can't just pick it, right? It kind of comes from who you are that are making the content. So you'll get that. And then it's informed heavily by your church's brand guidelines, like logo colors and things like that. But one of the things you can choose on style is whether or not you're going to optimize to the feed or you're going to optimize to each post. Are you going to be, is the feel of your Instagram going to be loud, like bright colors or strong contrasts, or black and white, or is it going to be minimal, like very clean, very empty photos, lots of white space in your feed and in each photo, and then focus on the caption? What's your style going to be? And then once you kind of figure out that style, it helps you identify when you've made content that's good for you and that's not, that works with your brand. All right. So let's go to the last one, which we usually save for last. It is voice. The voice, we often forget about the copywriting part of social media, which is super important. Donna Miller likes to say that pictures don't sell things, words sell things. Pictures give them a reason, words tell them what to do. And I think that is super important to remember, is that if you want action on any of this, your copy needs to be compelling. And think about those first 2 lines on Instagram on the feed, because that's what's going to be seen before the ... and it cuts it off for a lot of users. So think about, what are those first 2 lines going to say? But the type of voice that informs your brand is, are you going to be conversational? Are you going to be kind of business-like? Are you going to have an authoritative tone? Or are you going to be more artistic in how you speak? Are you happy quoting poems and song lyrics in your verse? Or are you going to be a teacher type tone where you're a theologian, or are you pastoral? These are kind of words that you would write down and go, this is the feel we want. When I used to do copywriting for a company out of Knoxville, Tennessee, I didn't live there, but it was a guy I worked with, that Barbara Carnero, if you know her, she set me up with this guy. I was copywriting for him for a bit. And one of the best things we did is we defined like some definitions for clients of like, what kind of voice do you want when we write your website, when we create your social media? And so we had these labels, and then a couple of words out to the side of that label, like, I think we even called it like John the Surfer, who's chill, he's fun, whatever. And we'd label what that looks like in the vocal. And really it didn't, when we get to the copywriting, we'd write pretty much what we wanted and then go back and add that in and make it sound like that guy. Because it was a two scrub process kind of thing, but because I had time to do it, that's all I was doing. But you may not have time for that. But it's good to have those descriptors in the type of voice that you want. So if you're like, we want this kind of voice, write some adjectives. Those are describing words for the grammar people who hate grammar. Describing words that tell like what people say I'm condescending. I know that means I talk down to people, but it's where It's where you really have these describers that help you kind of identify if this is in the right voice for your church. I mentioned Jasmine Star again today, and I was watching a video of hers earlier today, and she was talking about voice, and she said that if she thinks about it like an airplane test, and what she means by that is if she's sitting on an airplane with someone who's a stranger and she strikes up a conversation with them, would she share certain things with them? What would she share with them? How would she say it to them? That's how she kind of thinks about how she speaks to her audience on Instagram. Like, you want to tell people, yeah, I'm struggling with something. And it was like, speak from the scars, not from the wounds, because the scars are like, we've gotten through this or we're going to get through this. But a wound is more like, I'm despairing. You don't want to share that online. So that kind of thing goes into your voice for your online presence that I'm not sure we all think about. And whatever you decide on all this, make sure that anybody who has a touch with your social media understands this really well, and mainly make sure that this lines up with your pastor in a really synergistic way. Because if it doesn't line up with your pastor, what you're going to have is a weird combination of different voices and feelings. Like your pastor, if he's not funny and he is very stoic and rigid in how he is presenting himself every Sunday, but your social media is like memes and fun stuff, and they're like, I love social media. It doesn't match, what the people are used to see. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be coherent with everything else going on in your church. And so when you're doing all this, you have to think about how it fits in as a whole. But these are things I would think about for branding that would really help you identify a unique brand on your Instagram account. Now, having said all that, it leads me to another branding tip. Here's the tip of the week that also goes in with branding. And if you need to decide how you feel about emojis. You do. I like emojis. I think they help. I'm going to show you my profile, because in your profile, I'm recommending that you use emojis to break up parts of your profile. I'm going to show you mine. So I'm going to scoot over here in the side here so you can see mine, and I need to work on mine. I got to be honest. I opened this up today to show it, and I was like, I don't really tell you much about me in the bio. It's like a bunch of links and stuff. So I need to work on that. And your church is probably, I have Frisco, Texas there as my location. If you're a church, you definitely need your location in your bio. There's a field that you can fill out in your profile. Make sure you do that. That's a big part of branding. If you're for your community and you're for the people in your community, let them find you and help them find you with the location tag there. I got one link, and we did a live video I did one with Ryan Wakefield 2 days ago. And in there, one of the people, her name's Tammy. She's an agent, has an agency, and she's really great. Mentioned that we should not use these link services like I'm using right here. And I was like, I know that. 2 months ago, I decided to make a web page with all my, just for Instagram links that could give me some traffic on my website that I can track with Google better than this and have it all in one place. And I was like, I heard that somewhere, and I was like, that's brilliant. I should do that. And so I started the page and never finished it. And then we got to that and we were talking about it. I was like, dang it. Now it's going to look like I didn't know that already. But it's true. You should get a page. I'm kidding, obviously. You need to have a page for your Instagram links that you can get some traffic cred for. And I think that's a big part of branding as well. What that page looks like, made it just for mobile. You don't need to make sure that looks good on the web. That website can be all centered, whatever, in this frame here, really, really thin, and make that centered up and nice so that you get credit for it. All right, so here's what I'm looking at. Notice that I have emojis breaking up certain sections of information in my profile. That's what I really wanted you to see. I've got a magnifying glass for the search terms that I'd like to I try to rank for these when I post. So these are typically in the bottom of my posts when I post things. Like I said, lately I've been posting about toilet paper and stuff. So it's just been silly. So I haven't really done these a ton. But then I've got the microphone next to podcast, and then I've got the pointer finger down to links to all the things. which is that one link that will eventually go to my website. Because anything that I tell you to go to in a post, I'm going to put it on that page and not change this link out a million times, because that's super annoying. Even though I think that might function better if the link is specific to your most recent post. But if someone sees an older post, then the link isn't there anymore. So I like the multiple link deal because I have a lot of things going on. You probably do too. For churches, it makes sense to do a one link situation. So when I'm looking at my Instagram account, the profile needs to be optimized with emojis. I think that emojis are really helpful when it breaks up the info, because you want people to be able to get to your profile, scan it really quick. So you divide the info up for them with emojis so they don't have to. Don't make their brain work any harder than it has to. That's not condescending. That's just science. The brain is constantly trying to figure out ways to get out of work. And if you're really honest with your own brain's doing the same thing. So that's why we like video more than blogs. It's like you don't want to read anymore. Nobody wants to read. Everybody wants to listen, because then I can just go or do other things. And it's so much easier because the brain wants to shut everything down to the bare minimum and do the least work. You have to make it work. It's like a teenager. Anyway, so let's get to our spotlight today. I'm really excited about this. The spotlight is for Rob Russo, I believe is how you say his last name. I've never actually met Rob, but Rob is from, let's see, where is that dude from? He's got a one link situation going on here. We're going to look at his Instagram for a second, because he is branded really well, and he uses some pretty bold colors to do it. So if you're on Instagram right now, I don't think I have a photo of his page. I meant to get that. I'm so sorry. So you're gonna have to just kind of imagine it with me. Go to Russo Creates when this is over, at Russo Create, RUSSO CREATES. That's for Instagram. Okay, so let's check this out. I want to show you his stuff here. Okay, so here's Rob's page, and I like the stark colors. It's black and orange. Mine were I used to be black and yellow. I used to be that black and yellow thing that Phil Bowdle is now doing. And so to separate out a little bit, I was like, I need to go brighter. Honestly, right now, I rip my colors straight from the Star Wars A New Hope poster, and took the photo and then just used the thing online. It ripped those colors straight out for me. So I'm using Star Wars colors now. I'm pretty pumped about that. But here's Rob's stuff, and it is just really sharp. Every time I see his posts, I'm like, I stop and look, because the design is just eye-catching. And he's picked out, definitely as far as his style is going to be a bold, and it is going to be graphic mixed with some photos. He is not doing a ton of photography, but what he is doing, he's integrating in his design, because I think he's a designer. He's in here right now. And hey, Rob, and I'm pretty sure that design is kind of his thing. He's a creative guy, and I've connected with him a while back. The one I wanted to show you is the big brand blunder. So I want to look at this page. It's a scrolling post. Again, remember, Instagram, really great for scrolling posts, micro blogging kind of things. And I just thought this was really impressive. Avoid this, the big brand color blender. And there's a huge duck on the front. Or is that a goose? I don't know. Both birds are annoying. So it is an annoying bird on the front yelling at you, but it is the big brand color blender. Hard to say. Then he goes to this page. One thing to avoid when considering your brand colors. That's all it says. Really well done. Get me to go to the next slide, right? And whatever you do, and then there's an arrow going this way. Okay, cool. Don't do this. Another hand pointing. Don't switch up your brand colors too soon. And the question mark is like, well, why not? You see one brand redesign and think it must be the thing to do. New owner, new season of life, new design trends. You're just ready for change. And then there's this hang tight. It says, even if your brand color is your favorite color, you will get tired of it. True. You will tell yourself it's time for a brand refresh because your audience must be tired of it too. But remember, they aren't looking at it as much as you are. And when you're bored with it, your audience is just starting to associate it with your brand. Think about long-term consistency and brand recognition. That's a huge term we need to talk about someday in depth. You should keep your logo and brand colors for longer than you think and possibly forever. When's the last time you saw McDonald's update their brand? That's been around a while. Okay. Thanks for swiping, and here's how to connect with him at Russo Creates. I always say Russo in my head, and then I go, nope, it's Russo. Russo Creates. Who do you know that needs to hear this message? Care to share. So hit that share button. That's a great tactic. It points right to the arrow. Well done, Rob. Well done. All right, so he's got some good content going on over here. Let's check out what he wrote for his caption. Have you thought about this big brand blunder? Are you guilty as charged? Then there's a divider. Could have also used a emoji there, but you don't need it, so it keeps you flowing. There's a time and place for change, but something to be said once again for consistency. And then a quick little divider again, and then here's all the hashtags to get found. Good caption. It just asks questions and poses the context, and then really your blog is in the graphics. So this is a well done post. I really like it. I'm gonna go back all the way to the beginning. I like that there's a cover page. It's basically functions as a landing page on Instagram that makes you want to go to the next page, this one. But here's the thing. The second page is also a landing page. Look, he didn't give you much. One thing to avoid when considering your brand colors. That's almost like a subtitle, right? Because Instagram will show you this post and it will be on page 1. And then the next time it shows it to you again, if you hung out but didn't swipe, it may try the second photo in the whole thing, being sneaky, and you might swipe on that one. So thinking about your first and second slide in the microblog, both as hooks to get people to swipe. My man. Okay. So very, very smart, very well thought out, very well done. And again, just love the colors, love the bold contrast. I love that kind of branding. So go check out Russo Creates. Really good Instagram to follow for creatives and designers, especially if you're looking for brand ideas. I know he talks a lot about that. He's good at it. And Rob, definitely, I'm going to hit you up soon. I need to have this guy on my podcast, The Seminary of Hard Knocks, very soon. That needs to happen. So we need to talk about branding quick. So I'll be in touch with you on that, bro. Look for that look for that carrier pigeon coming along. So let's move on to the last section of our show. I got to announce a winner. Okay, so I'm going to announce a winner of something here today. I'm very excited about this. All right, so we've been giving away a free year of Missional Score every once in a while here on the Instagood Show. We're going to give away a full custom custom track at the Instagood I'm getting lost. At the Insta Summit, we're going to give away a free custom track, which is like $800 normally to do that. So you can go, it's music for videos, and it's just really, really well done. We're going to give away a free year subscription to Missional Score. They're a website dedicated to help you with video tracks for like interview videos, announcement videos, things like that. And so I'm going to connect with somebody who was here today watching this here show and connect you with my buddy James, who owns Missional Score. And you're going to get a free year of Missional Score tracks, and it's unlimited, and they're really well done. So I'm going to announce that in the comments here as soon as the show is over, and tag the person who wins that free giveaway. And that is going to be on Facebook. Sorry, Instagram. You'll have to go to the Facebook one and see, because I don't have a way to do that here on Instagram Live. So I'm going to do that in the announcements in the comments below. Thanks again for watching the Instagood Show. Man, I'm really glad to be here and get to talk to you guys about this stuff every week. Hopefully, if you know somebody that needs to hear some of the things we talked about today, or you just want to talk about it with them, send this show to them, have them join the group, tell them to come follow me, whatever, and we will connect. And I'd love to be part of that conversation. So anyway, I love you guys. Way to go. Keep going. I know this is tough times. You got this, but we're going to be here to support you and resource you in any way we can. Just let me know how I can help. All right. Thanks for watching the Instagood Show. I'll see you later.